On today's episode of Perfiles by Dawn Page, I am joined by my dear friend Maylen Calienes. She is the founder of Latino Filmmakers Network. She's a talented actress, an executive producer, a director, a filmmaker, no?
Yeah, I've been focusing more behind the cameras lately. But yeah, doing a lot of producing, writing, directing. Right now, my next project, I'm trying to focus more on writing, because I love telling stories.
When I first met you, we actually met here. She is the first friend I made in Los Angeles, and we met at Universal Studios backlot. Now, because we were doing the tour in Spanish.
Yeah.
And you were one of my colleagues there.
Yeah.
I remember I would have my little reporter job from Monday through Friday. And then on the weekends, I would work at Universal Studios, and that's where I met Maylen. And we've been friends more than 2 decades.
Wow.
I know.
We've done a lot together.
I
know that for a fact. You know what? It just popped into my mind. One of the fun things that I remember we did, and I don't know if you were reporting it, but I remember you invited me to the Pantages, and we went to see Chicago, which is one of my favorite musicals.
Yes.
And Patrick Swayze was in it.
Yes, I know.
And that was like exciting.
I remember. There's a picture of us outside by the poster, by the key art. And I'm here and I'm sitting in this special room that I think is going to be your podcast. No?
Yeah.
Soon?
It's like an office.
Set. Nice set.
And we have it all set up for like a podcast. Yes.
And I see that you have posters. I remember the 3 bilinguals. I was there that premiere. Latino Filmmakers Network logo. There's articles. I love this. This is all you, Maylen.
Yeah. It's Maylen's mind.
And you have had a lot of success. I know last year you celebrated Elephant's 10th anniversary. And this year you were at Sundance and you were the only organization there.
Yeah, this year was our 11th year. Mm-hmm. And we were there, of course, supporting and representing the Latino community. And that's how it all started.
What motivated you to I remember when you first wanted, you are a very proactive person. You don't take no for an answer, and you made it happen. It's like, well, I'm going to take the bull by the horns and I'm going to create my own organization.
Yeah, because it came out of my own journey, right? It came out of trying to find a solution to a problem that I saw. And I didn't just see that need. I was seeing that everybody around me, my colleagues, were also experiencing the same thing. But Latino Filmmakers Network was born out of that journey, right? Of seeing that there was a problem that needed to be fixed, and me trying to do something positive about it, and trying to take our community to the top, and trying to make sure that our stories are told and are seen, right? Because that's important, right? But without like the typical stereotypes, and that they're told by us, right? So it's important to highlight our community. And I love independent filmmaking because so many great projects come out of independent filmmaking. And Latino Filmmakers Network was born at the Sundance Film Festival, because I would go to Sundance as a filmmaker, supporting other people, supporting stuff, and the representation of our community did not exist. And that's kind of like where it was born, because the Sundance Film Festival is an important film festival. It's one of the largest ones in the United States, so it helps bring that visibility that our community needs, and that's why it was born there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, fast forward, let's say when you first moved to LA from Miami more than 20 years ago, and then more than 10 years ago, you created Elephant, Latino Filmmakers Network. Have you seen any advancements now in 2025?
Yeah, because when I came out here to be part of the entertainment industry, I started off as an actor, and the few auditions that I would be sent out to were very stereotyped because I happened to be Latina. And that was it was interesting because I'm like, what's happening? They're just sending me out to auditions that are listed as Latina because I come from theater, and in theater, you're able to play as an actor. You're able to have different, play different roles, do different characters. And that's what I loved about acting, and performing. And then auditioning for the few things that they would send you out to, and that they were very stereotyped, that was not fulfilling me as an actor. I continued to do theater, right? And I saw that there was a problem, right? Because you don't have to play like the same type of role every single time. That's why you act. And that's when I started getting more. I also come from writing and directing theater, but like filmmaking is completely different. But I would hang out with other filmmakers and started working behind the cameras and stuff like that. And then that's kind of like how I was inspired to make my first short film that screened at the
Dance of the Deaf.
Yeah, the Dance of the Deaf.
I was there too,
You were there, yeah.
You recorded this music video. I mean, not this. It was a short.
It's a short.
Video, but of course, music, flamenco, and we were at your cousin's home.
Yes.
I remember.
Yeah, that was my first short film. The story is told through dance and body language, flamenco dancing, because I come from that too. And the first time that my first movie, the first place that my first movie was screened, was at the ArcLight Hollywood. Like, it doesn't get better than that, And I was surrounded by people that I admired also and stuff like that. And that's where sitting in that theater and watching my movie on the big screen is where I made the decision that I was going to focus behind the cameras and write and direct more stories to give other people better opportunities, better roles, and to tell my stories, right? The ones that I would like to be a part of, right? And in order for me to make movies, I had to learn how to produce, right? So that's where the producing thing came to be. And, fast forward, I made several short films. I did the 3 bilinguals that also did very well.
It was screened at the LA Film.
At the LA Film School was a big premiere, which was an amazing, glorious premiere that you were a part of as well. And it was like truly one of the best nights.
I'm proud of you. I remember you wearing this nice jewelry, and then this.
Yeah, I had someone do the dress for me and everything like that, and the jewelry and stuff like that. And it got optioned, right, like with these producers to be able to get pitched, and they actually wanted to pitch it as a TV series, right? And I made this, and I was making these movies and made the 3 bilinguals when diversity and inclusion wasn't even a word in Hollywood, right? When none of that existed, right? And then again, I'm putting the work in, I'm doing something fun that people are enjoying and stuff. But still, it was like a block. Like, things were not getting, so it's like, what else do you do? Because you don't come into this industry and people don't say, oh, you have to do this and that and this and that. I always say that if I have to write a book about my life, it's like I had to figure it out on my own, pretty much. Yeah. So that's while I was going to Sundance, that's when the whole Latino Filmmakers Network thing came to be, because I'm like, I've gone through the journey of being an actor, gone through the journey of being a filmmaker. Now I have to like figure out what is this industry about and what are the roadblocks for the Latinos and diversity and stuff that are not allowing us to like really tell our stories and be portrayed authentically, coming out of our voices and stuff like that. So we could, we all deserve to tell stories, right? The United States is a very diverse place, and I feel like in order to have a voice as an American Latina, Latino, Latine in the United States, you have to have a voice in Hollywood, because through media, through film, a lot is said through that. A lot of people get educated through that, because people might not get educated by getting to know other people or traveling or being social, but people watch TV and movies, and if they see certain communities being stereotyped in villainous ways all the time, that's what they think about that community, right? So you have to storytelling is very important, and the way that you portray people is very important.
It's important for somebody across the screen to feel like that they're reflected,
Yeah, that they're reflected when it comes to our community, but also to educate other communities and show other communities that we're not just that stereotype.
Correct. We're not like the narco series,
right?
Or
we're not just the drug dealers. Just to say one of them.
Yeah,
one of many, right? We're not just that, right? Because then people are like, oh, Latinos are drug dealers or they're immigrants, right? Always like we're typecast in the United States, because when you say the word immigrant, what do people think of? First and foremost, Latinos, and then we're all Mexican, right? So it's like we're already a stereotype, and through storytelling and media, I think that we could change that.
I had the opportunity to spend 8 years in Miami, your hometown, and that is where I kind of appreciated the diversity among Latinos, because of course I grew up also in U.S. Mexico border, Arizona, Sonora, and then I came to Los Angeles, and the majority of the Latinos are Mexican. So I go to Miami, cubano, venezolano, de todos, colombianos, and I mean, but for me it was an enriching experience.
Yes.
And I know that you did that for the 3 bilinguals. I mean, Johnny was Puerto Rican, and then Mexican, and then Cuban. So
it was about a Mexican, a Cuban, and a Puerto Rican that meet at the reading of their father's will. And the Mexican brother lives in LA, the Cuban sister in Miami, the Puerto Rican brother in New York. Right, and so they all meet for the first time in Wyoming.
In the reading
at the reading of their father's will, where they also meet for the first time their Caucasian stepmother, and they have to live together, get to know each other in order to get this inheritance. And it's diversity amongst diversity, because all the characters are also very rich and have different identities happening. So
well, congratulations, you've come a long way.
Yeah.
And I was reviewing the information about your panels at Sundance, and my gosh, if you would have access to that information when you first started.
Oh my gosh.
But now you are providing that to people who are hungry to learn, but also they don't even know how to navigate and how to get
we're
started.
Always still, like, I've been in this industry already for a long time, and you're still learning, growing, and evolving, all the time. But I say that to myself all the time. I'm like, wow, here I am. When I sit down and I put these things together, I'm like, wow, here I am putting this together, right? And I wish this was accessible for me when I was here, for someone like me. And now, because of organizations like Latino Filmmakers Network and many others, right? Like, and there has been not just the growth in the industry with diversity, right? And inclusion, but also a lot more programs that did not exist at all when I came out here. You
have the streaming platforms,
more distributed. Yeah, now because of technology and all that stuff, there's so many things that are accessible, right? And even with your iPhone, you can make a smartphone, you can make a film, so there's many ways, right, of making movies, of telling stories and putting it out there to the public, right? Things that were kind of like coming up little by little, and and now exploded, right? But like when I was out here, there was none of that, and diversity and inclusion was like, what is that, right?
So being here in LA, I felt like when I was working here, trying to make it as a reporter, or being on the air or whatever, it's like a resistance. It's like una prueba de resistencia, or like you have to just be persistent and never give up. And you've never given up. You've never given up.
I mean, I always say this industry is so hard, right? And I mean, life is hard, right? Like anything that you do might be a challenge, but the entertainment industry in particular is even more challenging because there's so many people that want to break into it. There's little opportunities, right? But I feel like I've known so many people along the way that even lived here and then ended up leaving and maybe pursuing other things, right? Because it's not an easy industry, right? I always say that the people that stay in this industry and that sustain themselves in it is because they're very passionate. Passion is what keeps you going, because believe me, like I've gone through my ups and downs, and I ask myself, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing? But I cannot see myself doing other things. Like, I'm fulfilled as a storyteller creating. I'm fulfilled as a producer producing beautiful movies for other filmmakers that have beautiful visions. And I'm fulfilled with Latino Filmmakers Network because it's my way of giving back. It's my way.
It's your project.
it's my way of giving back. It's my way of creating a positive change, and that's part of my makeup, you know, of doing something, educating also. I mean, I, in a sense, also come from education because I started working as a educator, as a teacher at the age of 16, teaching theater and stuff like that, right? So it's all of that stuff makes up who I am, I guess, you know.
Well done, Maylen. What is next for Maylen Calienes? What are you working on? Come on, give us a scoop.
Well, I've been producing so much these past few years. Beautiful movies that have done well, Academy Award contenders and stuff like that.
The one from Venezuela.
Yeah, that was the most recent one, right? But I kind of like want to get back to creating because I miss it, you know. Of course, I will always continue doing everything that I do, and but I've gotten back kind of like to writing. I'm writing a new story. Yeah.
What kind of genre is it? Horror? Is it comedy? Dramedy?
Well, I always stick to my genre, which is kind of like the three bilinguals in a sense. But I would say it's like dramedy.
Dramedy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, so I love everything that I'm looking at everything here, and I'm like, Maylen's history, you know. This is a nice space that you've created.
Thank you.
Well, anything else you would like to add? Any tip of advice to anybody wanting to break into the business? How important it is to get involved, to become a member of Latino Filmmakers Network? Where can we visit you? Where can we find you?
Yes, so Latino Filmmakers Network on Instagram at Latino Filmmakers. If you want to follow me on Instagram is at _Maycal, MAYCAL, at _Maycal. And LatinoFilmmaker.org is the website where you have more information. We have the digital program that we did for Sundance is up on the website. It'll be up for a year, so you should check it out. And
congratulations.
Thank you.
So good to reconnect, to see you in person. I know we connect virtually. Yeah. I thank you for always supporting me as well.
Of course.
And you know, I'm doing this this series of interviewing high profile guests about Latino, Latinx representation in mainstream media and in film and television.
And thank you also for supporting me and like all these years, you know, because that's how it should be, right? That's something that I believe in, and it's also part of what I do with Latino Filmmakers Network. It's very important to support each other. So,
yeah. That is it for today.